Hey, booze, hey, do your blankets feel like super glue in the morning? Well, sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. Hey, booze, hey. It's your Chief Self-Love Officer here, Leanne Dulce. And you are tuned into season 10 of the Wake Up Happy Sis show, broadcasting live on KCCR Cityscape Radio and all the social media platforms. You know how we do. And look who's in the studio. Look, we are in the same location.
Whoa. Hey, y'all. It's Sharonda. How y'all doing?
Yes, for the first time since she joined the show. So, hey, to our people down there on Instagram, to our TikTok. So if you see us looking off to the side, we're looking over to our TikTok fam over there. And to everybody on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, welcome to season 10. That was a bar. Now, today's episode, I feel like it's about to be fire because it's all about helping you break free from burnout. Now, we've all been there. Some of us are still there, feeling overwhelmed, feeling drained, and you're just feeling plain exhausted because you're trying to juggle it all. But guess what? Today, me and my girl Sharonda, we are coming to you live and in person so that we can give you real, no nonsense tips so you can reclaim your joy and stop burnout in its tracks. Did you know that October is also Emotional Wellness Month? So right now, there's really no better time to get at these strategies and start living a life where you come first. We're going to dive deep into emotional wellness, how to balance your career, family, and yourself. And most importantly, how to protect your peace, baby.
Oh,
You know, we don't play about our peace. The older I get, peace is what I'm going to have. Now, we're changing the narrative for our Black people because we're always telling our stories our way. So we want you to grab your favorite mug of whatever. We don't judge around here because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And get ready to kick it with us a little bit today. So I know you guys are wondering, hey, Sharonda's not usually in the studio. What's been going on that you guys are together?
Well, what had happened was I am here for the Wake Up Happy Sis Soul Renewal Retreat that was this past weekend. I've been with Leanne since the 17th. That was Thursday of last week, and I go home tomorrow. And I knew that we were going to kick off season 10, so we're putting in that work today for you guys to kick off the 10th season. And just y'all don't understand the kind of work that happened this weekend. I'm talking about leaving it all on the floor, like you know how you wipe your brow and you go like that. I don't know if I can share the kind of stuff that we got up to,
because share a little bit,
just a little bit, because what happens in VIP stays in VIP. Because if you wasn't there, then you kind of missed out on the good and stuff. But let me tell you, it was absolutely amazing, and I am going home with a newfound level of peace. And I already warned my husband, you're going to recognize some changes when I get back, sir. Yes. So it was definitely a lot of personal work. It was about learning that self-care does not equal being selfish.
That's right.
And you guys, we are going to keep on drilling that, because self-care is optimal in order for you to be the best self that you can be, so you can help others. But we got to pour into ourselves first before we can pour into others.
Yes, that is so important. And you guys will hear more about it. We've got a lot of different little things. So this was a private VIP weekend thing with Sharonda. So her, we call it the Soul Renewal Experience. Okay. So this retreat was a personal retreat. Like I said, VIP has its privileges, baby. So when we could pull this back in 2025, you guys want to make sure that you guys get on the bandwagon early and get your money in.
You want to do this.
Because we had so much, there was so much transformation, and not just for her, right? Transformation for me as well. And then we rounded it out with brunch. Yesterday's brunch, we went to, for those of you in Atlanta, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
But I wasn't ready though.
She wasn't ready.
Brunch is not your mama's brunch in Atlanta. It fucking goes down in brunch in Atlanta. Brunch ain't like this and nowhere else that I've ever experienced. Yes. And yes, I need more of it in my life.
Yes. It was the KOD brunch, which is at a strip club.
If you know, you know.
And if you know, you know. Live band, and it's not a strip show, but it's a vibe. And I wanted to make sure that we rounded out all the work that we did with a fun time. Because as you're releasing, you have to replace that with something positive. And what better way to kick off that happiness, that new transition in your life, than with a little happy brunch. And if you've been to Atlanta or you're from Atlanta, you know Atlanta, you know we do brunch like nobody else do brunch.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. But it all ties in to our topic today, which is breaking free and breaking those chains of burnout, right? So I say that is everything I do is always going to be kind of moving people towards that same thing, is putting you first. Realizing that it's okay to put you first. That is a requirement to put you first. And if you are suffering from burnout because you are overwhelmed, you are overworked, you feel underappreciated, like you're doing all the things for everybody, that means you're not taking care of your star player. And today we're here to make sure that you get exactly what you need, right? Because we need you to be happy, healed, and whole, okay? And fulfilled, and know what freedom is. And if you're burned out, no way you're going to do it, because burnout affects everyone, right? But I feel like as Black women, we have unique challenges due to societal pressures, the expectation that we be the strong Black woman while not being the angry Black woman, and this superwoman stereotype that has been passed down from generations to us, that it is required of us to be the rock, to be the foundation, and to be everyone's everything. There's not a Black woman that I know, who has kids or not, who doesn't understand that concept, or who hasn't lived it in some levels in their life, right? So let's talk a little bit about burnout, right? So burnout really isn't just about feeling tired. Baby, burnout is emotional, it's mental, and it's physical exhaustion that's caused by prolonged stress. So you are working hard, you're doing all the things, and you're going above and beyond, and you're not taking the time to replenish your stores. Your cup is empty. There ain't nothing in it. It's bone dry, and you're not taking the time to replenish yourself. That's when you're going to face burnout, right?
Think about it like this. She just got done saying that you're empty and you need to be replenished. Think about pouring from a cup that's empty. How effective can you be if you're not fulfilled?
Drinking from a cup that's empty.
Yeah, like you turn it upside down, it's bone dry. You cannot pour from a place of emptiness and depletedness. It does not work that way. So you've got to put the work in to restore yourself, or you're no good to anybody else, let alone yourself. And like I said, self-care is not selfish. If you are not on full, you cannot pour. I don't care. Think about we've talked about this in seasons past, about your cup and the saucer. The cup is for you, the saucer is for them. If there's nothing in the doggone saucer, you can't pour, because you have to maintain the full cup for you. tell them to get at you at a different day, not today,
That's
because
right.
your saucer is empty. Because if they start to put their finger over the rim of your cup, then they're coming for you. You don't want that. So tell them, no, I can't help you today. I'm talking about my therapist friends. I'm talking about the people that are in positions to be able to pour into others. But if they're on E, you can't pour. You can't help.
You can't look. You can't
give
give
what you don't have. Jinx again.
And so for many Black women, burnout oftentimes gets compounded because we're also dealing with having to navigate racial microaggressions in the workforce and just in fucking society. Okay. Society's expectations of Black women, this pressure to be strong all the time, but to not be angry, to not be that angry or bitter Black woman, right? So there's a study by the American Psychological Association that found 44% of Black women reported high stress levels compared to 33% of white women, right? Ain't that crazy? We know it though. We live it, we feel it. And burnout really can show as being constantly irritable, having a lack of motivation, but you can also have physical symptoms like headaches, insomnia, having, for me, if I'm overly stressed all the time and I'm really in a place of burnout, I mean, I'm already bald, so it's not a big deal, but my hair would start to fall out. Back when I had hair, my hair would start thinning and falling out. I would suffer a lot of stomach problems. So whatever you're eating, you get sick. Doesn't matter what you're eating. There's nothing wrong with the food. It's just that your system, my system is so tied to my emotions and to my feelings. Everything we have is interconnected. So when one is off, it can knock other things out of balance and out of whack too, right? And when we're thinking about that strong Black woman myth, that is one of the most harmful myths towards us, right? Because it's saying that we're supposed to be endlessly strong and always resilient, right? That plays a big role in why we're burned out, right? Because the stereotype really pressures us to carry emotional burdens silently. We can't even be vulnerable. We can't be weak. We have to always excel, always do more, always be better, always be there for everybody else. And we don't have the luxury of being weak, of being tired, right? We have to bounce back from everything, right? But we also have to excel at work. Be the foundation of our happy, be a happy wife, happy partner, happy mother, happy daughter, right? Solve everybody's problems.
That they created for themselves, by the way.
Right? We are socialized to prioritize everybody else's needs over our own, specifically Black women. And I'm not saying other races of women don't have it, but I feel like for Black women, it's even more of a priority in our lives that we have been raised with. Good morning, Martina.
Hey, Martina.
How are you today? Hope you are having a fabulous day. Now, this cultural conditioning, it really doesn't leave room for us to rest. It doesn't really leave room for us to have self-compassion. And it can contribute to long-term emotional fatigue. That feeling like when every day you get up, I done had 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours of sleep, and I'm still tired when I get up. It's like a soul fatigue. It's not just that you're tired, your body, your mind, body, and your soul are tired, right? And we have to learn how to get out of that because it only leads to long-term negative impacts to our health. And our health is our wealth, baby. You'll trade money for health. Because if I offered you $10 billion, but you was going to die tomorrow, Some people would take it because they're like, you know what, I want to set my family up. But most people are going to say, I'm going to take my chances living this life because there's so much more I want to do, see, or be. Right? Now, when we talk about society's expectations, that to me is like a double burden because we have to be managing gendered expectations and racialized expectations in our personal and our professional lives, right? Personal life. As a Black woman, you should not be twerking. Although rhythmic dance and all of that, you see it in a lot of other cultures, African cultures, Indian cultures, Latin cultures. But when Black women, quote unquote, twerk, it's ghetto, it's whatever. Miley Cyrus did it and it was, oh my God. Right?
That's a visual I can't get out my mind now.
Baby, look, with her little no booty self, but she was doing her thing, her own version of whatever she was doing. Right? But it's also the same in our personal life, our professional lives, right? You go, you work hard. As a woman, you're already getting paid less. As a Black woman, you're getting paid way less. Our pay scales in relation to other people is typically the lowest, not the lowest on the scale, but we're low. Black men are making more than us. White women are making more. White men, obviously, they're making the highest, right? So this can make you feel invisible. It can make you feel underappreciated, even when you're the one doing the bulk of the work, especially when you're the one doing the bulk of the work and everybody relies on you. You're supposed to be this team player, right? But this emotional labor can really lead you to having burnout at much higher and faster rates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Now I'm over here in my work life. I'm being pressured to do more, be more. In my home life, I'm the caregiver. And especially if you're a caregiver and you're caring for your family, your kids, husband, wife, whatever. But also if you have aging parents. Or disabled parents or disabled children who need more care and attention, right? We don't always have a harmonious work-life balance. It's usually very out of whack, one way or the other, right? Mm-hmm. And research from Lean In and McKinsey and Company's Women in the Workplace study shows that Black women are 1.55 times more likely to say they feel burnout than our white colleagues. And it's really due to the additional pressures that we face because, like I said, we have to navigate along gender lines and racial lines, all these biases and stereotypes that are being thrown at us all the time. Right? But it makes it clear, yes, we have higher rates of burnout and stress. But that makes it clear that we have to prioritize our emotional wellness and we have to be advocates for better work environments. Because as companies start to put a focus on the health of their employees, you're going to see better turnouts.
How about that?
We have a whole nother show that we're starting called Leading Well that talks about leadership. It's going to talk about corporate wellness. So you guys stay tuned for that. Now, let me ask you this, Sharonda. Okay. How do you think that the strong Black woman stereotype really impacts us? or how has it impacted you when you were still in the workforce, especially with you being in the military? Because I think that adds another layer of
Lord,
complexity to that strong Black woman and attributing it to burnout.
it sent me to the hospital because I was overworked. I didn't have the luxury of having a non-commissioned officer, NCO, a supervisor, because they were treating our office like a revolving door. I mean, I can't even count all of the ones that were coming and going, but then there was me who had all of the continuity
Right.
as a young soldier that was thrusted into leadership, and I had to because there was no alternative and stuff. And so in doing that, I had the responsibility of a facilities manager for 3 Army chapels, 8 Army chaplains, and a multitudinous amount of soldiers that were coming through. And because it was a basic training type of a military installation that I worked at, and I had been working my 3 chapels, and I had been doing all of the things as a facilities manager. That meant strip mopping and buffing the chapel weekly, because the chapel had to be ready to go for service on Sunday. And if I couldn't get the help, I still had to clean the doggone thing. So on Friday nights, as a young soldier, I was probably somewhere between 19 and 21. On a Friday night, I'm in my chapel cleaning it before I went to go frolic and do anything, because it was I leaned into the responsibility part and stuff. Well, after a certain amount of time happened, I was standing in formation for accountability so they could take attendance and all of the things. All I saw was the gym floor coming up real damn fast. I literally fell out, and I woke up in the hospital.
Because we're due too much. And we don't realize sometimes we are our own,
oh my God,
worst enemy.
Absolutely, that
right?
part.
Because we think we can just go. How many people have said to themselves at one time or another, I'll sleep when I'm dead?
Yeah. And when you're young like that, you think you're invincible.
Hey, Brother Tony.
Hey, Tony.
How are you?
So I think that myth and societal constraints help break ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because I learned in the hospital from exhaustion, I learned that no person is an island. Yes. But it sure felt like I was, though, because it seemed like it wasn't going to get done unless I did it and stuff.
Yeah, that's the difference, right? Mm-hmm. But what it also leads us to have is it leads us to that feeling of, if I don't do it, either it won't get done or it won't get done right. So now we also are working our way to exhaustion and burnout, but we're also getting a complex because we're now afraid to let other people in to do the stuff to help us, which further leads us into what? More burnout, because now we can't trust people to do it because they're not going to do it right.
Right. And so I just realized that's where the OCD started to develop, where cleaning and getting ready for the services on Sunday started to come in. Girl, I'm anal. I'm gonna talk to my therapist about this.
Every time we have a show, invariably I bring up something that
girl, she be digging in my brain, y'all. Y'all been with us for a plethora of seasons, and that's how we run our show. She just takes a can opener and pops off my top. It just starts digging around in there and stuff. And that's how we get the show and stuff. So it's like, oh my gosh. So I just realized that trait. That was part of it. And people not having the same level of wanting to put things back. Like when my family would come and see me, we got closets. That's where the coats go. Not at my kitchen table on a chair. So I wake up and things out of place. I
And you
can't
going on.
stand it, girl. I cannot stand it.
But
I can't stand it.
but that's where a lot of it comes in. Is it starts with the expectations that are thrust upon us, right?
Yeah.
So we're expected to be excellent. We're expected to be all things for all people, right? We already know coming into professional environments, we have to work 2 and 3 times as hard and be excellent at all things in order for us to just be labeled average. Even though they'll put everything on us, but they don't want to always give us the credit,
award and reward.
Give us the reward. Yes,
girl, don't you know? Okay, so in the military, we have evaluate. Okay, I was a young soldier, so I wasn't getting an evaluation, so to speak, because I wasn't, a supervisor, but I was doing all of the doggone things.
Yeah, you were doing all the supervisor things.
Remember any kind of reward, a bonus, or nothing after I done broke my ass in half and split myself down the middle to make sure everything was squared away. Now that I think about it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, that's what happens, right? That's what happens because we're not putting in the boundaries. We're not putting the care into ourselves.
Yeah, and
we're
I didn't
not
know
saying
this.
We're
now.
not saying, hey, this is too much. The expectations, right? There's a lady on TikTok. There's a lady on TikTok that does these skits that I really love. Her name is was it Veronica? That she plays this role. And the manager is always asking her to do something like working overtime without getting paid for it.
Wait, is it the cartoon?
It's not. They have one that's like a cartoon, but this one is a lady too. Okay. They have different versions of it.
Okay.
And it's so funny because every time she's like, one thing she does is after every time she talks to her, she sends her an email just to recap what was written. Right. So the manager comes to her, you don't have to do that she said, I just want to make sure that, that everything is on top. We're not having no problems, that it's clear so that if I'm missing something, you can clarify. She said, and to make sure we're on the same page. As soon as the lady walked away, just to recap, you said that I should, right? But they put all these expectations on us, which means we have to work harder, be smarter, be the best. That gives us more opportunities or more ways to run up against that burnout barrier.
Man.
Because we know sometimes we're doing the work of 2 or 3 people and expected to do it flawlessly, which we end up having to do, right? But then what that means is they look at us again. They already look at Black women as if we're not human, like we don't hurt the same way and we don't have the same challenges and issues as everyone else. That stereotype is always thrust upon us. And we see it in work environments where they're expecting more and more and more of us until we break.
But what happened? Okay, so talking to my young self when I was in that position, trying to get to the time frame before the burnout. What if you don't know what your limits are? And you don't have any help?
One, you have to, and we're going to talk about some things about that, right? So you have to figure out what your limits are. And you don't want it to be when you passed out. Right? There are standards. If you work in 8 hours, work your 8 hours. Stop giving the your evenings and your weekends, and sometimes you have to do that. There are times when we do have to go above and beyond. But what can you get done honestly within that? A lot of times we also have to be better at estimating what it will take for us to complete a project. So you if you're new, you're not going to know these things yet. So look up what are some standards for a new person learning, doing XYZ. How long do I think it should take? Google and Bing and all the different search engines are excellent resources. right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you say you're new and it says, well, it should take 3 hours to do it, you might say 5 because you're new and this might be the first time you're doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Set up templates, set up routines, set up automations that can help you, right? Because the only way that you're going to learn your limits is to bump up against it a couple of times.
Oh no, that pneumonia thing, I was good on that one time. I
Bet you knew your limit then. If it don't get done and other people are supposed to be here to help, call me a snitch if you want to, but I'm not going to do all the work and everybody else gets to sit back and act like they had a part in it when it was me.
That reminds me of a
You're not
chicken.
doing that.
Well, Henny Penny, the fable or little kid story about, she was asking all of her barnyard friends to help her mill the wheat and helping her all of the things so she could make bread. Nobody wanted to help. So she did it all herself, and when the bread was done, everybody was
everybody
like,
over
"Oh,
there
let
running.
me get." Oh no! It ain't gonna be none of that and
Who
stuff.
helped
Because
me? Yeah. Who helped me pick the grains? Who helped me mill it? Who helped me? Nah, you ain't do none. You ain't getting none. Because what you're not going to do is walk away with what I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into and acted like it was you who did the work. Right?
So closed mouths don't get fed.
Right. And why I feel like burnout, and then we're going to move into kind of some real strategies to help you heal from burnout. But one of the reasons why I think that burnout feels different for Black women, honestly, is because it's a multifaceted or multi-tiered kind of problem. Like I said, we have racial, we have gender, we have societal pressures, we have cultural expectations, right? That are really so deeply ingrained into who we are, right? We really also face this kind of unique burden where we are constantly having to prove our worth in professional spaces and sometimes in social and personal spaces while managing the emotional toll of racism. You know, it happens everywhere. On the job, you're the best qualified, but they bring somebody else in to do it. Like when I worked at a major telecom company, we were in a new group. Now, I wrote all the policies and procedures, and when I say all of them,
because it didn't exist.
It didn't exist. There wasn't even a group. We were a new group doing quality assurance for project management. So I wrote all of that. I did the training. I did all these things. But when it was time to come up for a lead position, they didn't accept me. They brought a white woman in that wasn't even in our group. Now, she was great. This was not a knock against her because she was great. And her and I became great friends while we worked there. But how did I feel about that? I felt unappreciated. And what it made me do is question myself. And what I did was, but instead of me feeling bad about myself, what I did was I dug deep. I said, well, no, there's no way that they will not pass me up again. So that made me what? Go harder, work harder, prove myself more. I'm constantly proving to fit into someone else's mold. But they damn sure got me that position when the next one opened. Right? But that's why we end up with burnout. Because we do all the things to have the position, yet we're not always given the credit and the reward for the work that we do. So then we're faced with burnout because we're always pushing, always striving, always doing more, working harder. And you're going to hit that burnout barrier, especially if you're not taking care of yourself in the meantime. So we're going to take a brief, very, very brief break. Okay. And then when we come back, we're going to really talk about some real strategies to help you heal and break those chains of burnout.
Are you ready to be moved, inspired, and transformed? Gumbo for the Black Woman's Soul isn't just an anthology. It's a revolution bound in pages. Imagine holding the raw, unfiltered truths of sisters who've walked through the fire and emerged stronger. Their words will seep into your soul, igniting a flame you didn't know you had. Listen to this. And that's when I realized my scars weren't marks of shame, but medals of honor. Each one told a story of survival, of resilience. This book is more than just words on paper. It's a mirror reflecting your struggles, a balm for your pain, and a catalyst for your joy. Every page turns trauma into triumph and silence into symphonies of strength. But here's the real tea. This book isn't complete without you. When you buy Gumbo for the Black Woman's Soul, you're claiming your spot in our movement. Don't just read about transformation, live it. Grab your copy now at thegumboanthology.com because your story isn't just yours, it's ours. Together, let's turn this anthology into an awakening, a celebration, a revolution. Savor this Gumbo. It's time to own your joy, claim your power, and let your Black excellence shine, sis.
All right, and we're back. So, let's talk. Let's talk about healing from burnout. Because we don't just talk about it, we be about it around these parts. Okay? So, really, when you're healing from burnout, it does require a mix of emotional self-awareness, intentional rest, and a realignment of your priorities.
Oh.
And I will also add that, and an advocacy for your wellness. Self-advocacy. You have to advocate for yourself. Okay? So we're going to talk through some tips. Give y'all some tips because we want you to leave here with actionable things that you can implement today. When?
Right now. Today, right now.
That's it. So, first one, radical rest.
Oh.
And I know y'all like, what the hell is radical rest? Well, slow your roll. I'm about to tell you.
Oh, y'all.
Okay. So we want to learn how we can recharge on a deeper level, because rest isn't just about sleep. It's about giving yourself. Now listen, Linda.
Okay, I'm listening.
Rest is about giving yourself permission to pause mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay?
Can I add?
Nope. Now wait. Wait. Hold it in.
Don't let me forget, Lord. Don't let me forget. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want you to forget.
In order for you to be able to rest, you guys have got to pour into yourself by going to get some somatic massaging to like loosen up those muscles that you forgot that you had. Because if you don't, y'all, this massage that I had this weekend. Oh wait, that's part of the VIP experience. Can I share that part?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the kind of massage that I had, y'all, he turned me into a damn pretzel, y'all. I mean, talk about the doggone knees up here by my damn ears. So I had like some kneecap earrings or some stuff. He had my doggone leg over here on the y'all. You have got to stretch, because if you don't, you can't relax properly because your muscles are so doggone tied up and twisted and stuff. So in speaking to the her point about the radicalization of relaxation, after that massage, before that massage, I could not sleep whatsoever, just in spurts. After that massage, yeah, I was so doggone relaxed. He actually had to help me off that damn table, y'all. I mean, for real, had to pull me by both hands because I was that relaxed, so I could sleep. You've got to deliberately and intentionally get to that place. because it's not going to work for you and stuff. So please pour into yourself and stretch your muscles out, because health is wealth. And you can't do too much if you're not feeling too good. And then you got the overactive mind, and then your muscles are tight, and sleep is nothing.
Somatic therapy, somatic movements is not just about your muscles and right, but what it really is getting yourself in tune with your body, right? It's going to help you release pent up emotions. It's going to help you let go of trauma and also help you manage your mental health, right? Because what you end up doing is you develop this deep connection with your body, being in tune with your body and understanding when your body is distressed. What are your areas of tension, of discomfort, and relaxation, right? So these movements are more than just releasing tension from your muscles. There's also the connection to your emotional as well, because a lot of times these movements, so you guys should do research on it, right? These movements, depending on where they are, how pressure is applied, you learn the connection that it has to a different part of your psyche, of your mental, of your emotional. You might find yourself crying.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might find yourself shaking, trembling, right?
That all of that happened to me.
And some may just feel this immense calm and peace, right? So it really is a way to help your mind, body, and soul be in alignment, right? And that is a big part of sleep, right? Of that rest, right? Now, Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith, the author of Sacred Rest, identified 7 different types of rest. Who knew? Physical, mental, emotional, social, sensory, creative, and spiritual. Wow. And it seems like Black women often need to focus more on emotional and social rest, taking time to process our emotions, disconnect from environments that demand constant engagement, right? So how do I start this today, Leanne? That's what you're asking me. I know. Go ahead.
You read my mind?
Ask me.
How do you start today, ma'am?
All right. You ain't gotta yell at me.
She been on me about my tone, y'all, this weekend.
Cause she ain't gonna talk to me crazy. I don't know who she be talking to, but she ain't gonna talk to me like that. See, that's my boundary.
Yes.
We got boundaries.
I'm sorry. How may I start this today, Leanne? Is that better?
Yes, let me tell you. Okay. I want you to start by scheduling some small rest periods throughout your day. Because, baby, the United States wants you to work until you're dead. If you go to other countries, they have, especially like Latin American countries, they have those midday breaks. You're not expected to work 8 hours. You'd be like, I'm going to work these 3-4 hours, then I'm going to take a rest. Then okay. That's what you need to start with. It might just be 10 minutes. You got that 15-minute break, baby. I was the master of go to my car
and take a nap, right?
Take a 10-minute nap. And then that 5 minutes is getting back and forth into the building and back in my seat.
Efficient.
Okay.
That was me too.
Baby, I've even taken a quick little 10-minute nap in a bathroom.
Yeah. Did you turn your alarm on? Okay.
Yeah, put your little alarm on.
Wait. Did the alarm wake you up, or the pins and needles in your feet?
Because, baby, you sitting on that, you be sitting on the toilet, and you do get the butt fatigue. You do get the butt fatigue, and you're like, well. You're only gonna get good, you're only gonna get so much time before it's gonna get to you. But I was the master of doing that because companies don't provide that.
Right.
They don't provide that kind of flexibility. Now I work from home now, and I'm nobody's employee, so I will schedule some rest time because I'm gonna take a nap. My friend Crystal, about 1 o'clock every day, she's going to take her nap.
Don't look for me. You already know where
like
I'm
her
at.
body is conditioned. By 11:45, you can see her eyes start to get low, right? Because her body is conditioned, right? So start by scheduling those small rest periods so that you're not so worn out by the end of the day. Replenish. What do we say? Replenish what's in our cup, what's in our jug, what's in our container. Okay? We have to replenish self. And these small pockets of rest can help. Right? Doing somatic movements before can also help because you're releasing tension and releasing stress and releasing some pent up and held in emotions that will help you sleep better.
Well, Leanne, are you talking about doing somatic stretches before going to bed? Oh. Yeah.
They have apps. They have apps on the phone, on your phone, that can help you learn how to do somatic movements. And somatic, was it somatic Pilates? Something like that. There's a couple of apps. They ain't paying me no money. So
right.
I ain't
we ain't saying no names. That's
but
right.
But you can look it up. Now that we've talked about it, once you start talking about it, it's going to show up on your social media. Okay, it's going to show up in your scrolling of Facebook. They're listening. Okay. Next thing. Do you want to give the next tip, Sharon?
Okie dokie.
You want to?
Reclaiming your no, setting boundaries without guilt. Let's talk about it.
I asked her to say that because that's Sharonda's favorite one. If you've been here with us since she came in season 4, you will know that Sharonda loves a good no. She loves a good no, and it's a what? Complete sentence.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. So, these 50s have just been such a wonderful decade for us, to the point where I'm not liking how it was part of my own doggone problem by allowing people to talk to me any old kind of way. And this is about family and friends. I mean, any old kind of way, to the point where my husband perceived it as being doggone disrespectful. But I thought that's what you do. You sit there and you take it because these are your friends and your family and stuff.
Husband was like, no, what we not gonna do is that.
Child, let's talk about it. So the 50s was like, you know what? I don't like this. We can't do this anymore, because if I talk to them like they talk to me, then it would be a fucking federal case about it and stuff, y'all. A whole fucking federal case about it. So I started to get inside my mind and create these boundaries in the word no, to the point where people were like, oh my God, wait a minute, Sharonda is defending herself. Hold on for a second. They didn't know how to take me because I just decided you're not going to talk to me like this. And this is coming from family and friends. And I just really and truly drew a line in the sand and explained to them, this is the line of demarcation that you shall not pass if you want to continue.
Or I'm going to whoop yo. Sorry. It just
she got the bars, y'all. She got the bars.
It was too fun for me to not.
I set it up for her.
Yeah. It was a good setup.
And so I was like, you know what? I don't like this anymore. So just like I allowed it to happen, I can rescind that.
That's right.
And say, no, I'm not doing this, and you're not gonna talk to me like that. And
That's
they were
correct.
looking at me like, wait a minute. She finally found her voice. And
Because
she's not
people,
taking shit off of me.
Well, and another thing is people get used to
They were.
and they start feeling entitled to
They did.
your time, to your lack of a response when we don't have quality, or not quality, we don't have boundaries. Standards is what I meant, not quality. When we don't have standards and boundaries, and we don't know how to say no, because no is one of your most powerful tools when we are protecting our peace.
Yes.
But we've been taught, especially in Black families, we've been taught to feel guilty about it.
That she was talking about me, y'all, because I was feeling that way.
But a lot of times
but they were fine though, talking to me like that. But they were not guilty.
But think about it. Your mother, your aging mother, asks you to do something, and you are super tired. Mm-hmm. You're super tired after work. You don't even have the energy to do anything but go home and whatever. Mm-hmm. You would feel guilty about telling her no. Mm-hmm. But what might happen is you say yes, you go out, you get in an accident because you fall asleep at the wheel, because you are not protecting your peace, your energy, and you're not replenishing your store. I had a friend who we had been hanging out, but she had been so tired. She went to drop someone else off who rode with her, and she got into a really bad accident because she fell asleep at the wheel. Not because she was drunk, because she had not really, she maybe only had one drink.
My God.
And that was early in the night. She was just tired because she was working and working and working to the point of exhaustion. Right? Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to say no. So how do we implement that right now? We have to practice setting small boundaries.
And a boundary is lip service if it's not enforced.
Yeah. Yeah. So it might be in a professional setting. You no longer answer work emails after hours. Right? Mm-hmm. You can put a thing. What I've seen done with one of the client sites I work at, mm-hmm. what I liked was in their messenger or at the end of their emails, it would let people know, hey, I'm not expecting you to respond to this outside of work hours. Mm-hmm. This is not an urgent issue. You could use that same thing for yourself that says at the end of your messages, right? For non-urgent issues, I will respond within the working hours of X to X, mm-hmm. right? That can be one small boundary that you can set right now, right? And then you build up to bigger ones, mm-hmm. because what it's going to do is it's going to help you reclaim control of your time. You're going to feel less stressed because now I'm not this is work, but I ain't getting paid for this. I'm salaried or I'm off the clock, but I'm still doing, right?
And
it's not even things. It's not even things that couldn't wait until the next day. I don't work on Fridays. All my clients know I do not work on Fridays unless it is something urgent. You message me on Friday, I might look at it because I have to see if it's urgent or not. Mm-hmm. But if it is not urgent, I will address it on Monday. You have to set boundaries, right? And you have to enforce those boundaries. Ooh, okay. So I asked a question and says, what practices do you use to heal from burnout? So Lisa Marie White said, monthly massages.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Meditation twice a day. She works from home, so she steps away and take a walk a couple of times a day.
I love that, Lisa.
I love that. Marie. So Lisa, or is it Liza? Sorry for pronouncing it wrong, but I love that. Mm-hmm. So when you meditate, do you have do you meditate with sounds? What I found works well for me is I'll turn on the solfeggio frequencies.
Mm.
Sometimes I drive with those, and that's what I'm listening to,
Mm.
especially in this hectic Atlanta ass traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll turn that on because it helps block out. My brain is always going, always going, always going. So when you're learning how to quiet your thoughts, playing that helps me kind of drown out other things so I can really just focus like on my breath, on my breathing, whatever I'm meditating on. So I love that.
Look at the next one. Oh.
Okay.
All right, Liza Marie.
What's out there doing it, guys?
Okay, so I guess I can do that while I'm in the
You
hammock.
can in your hammock. Yes.
Thank you,
Now,
Liza Marie.
Now, what I'm
that.
also doing, because people have told me that I have an awesome and very calming, soothing voice, I am coming out with a series of guided meditations.
Y'all got to get with it because her voice is just...
We did a release ceremony. And I think that's what helped unlock a lot for her to go into her next session that next day with one of my favoriteest massage therapists. His name is Adam Wilkinson. And I love him, not romantically. Don't get it twisted because that's a married man. But I love him because he's helped me release so much negativity. He prays over me.
God.
He prays over me when he does his massages. Like that. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Stupid TikTok. Oh my God. There. You know what? That's what we're not going to do. There. Can you do that? Because it's pissed me off. So, oh, look. She said her hammock is a place. Hammocks.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm about to get my hammock base and move it to the front yard, I think, and put my hammock out in my front yard. And
you should,
because
ma'am.
My backyard is on a slope. Let's get back to these tips because we only got 3 minutes left. And this season we're going to be on time.
Okay.
This season we're going to be on time. Okay. We've already talked about radical rest, resting on or recharging yourself on a deeper level, reclaiming your no, setting boundaries without guilt. Revitalize your joy. I want you to do what lights you up again, right? Because when you're burned out, you often forget what joy even feels like, right? But part of this breaking free and breaking those chains of burnout is rediscovering what lights you up, what brings you joy, what brings you peace and happiness, right? Dancing, cooking, diving into a passion project. But don't try and take on the world. Start small. Sharonda likes doing those little bead things. That's not the diamond dots. That's not my ministry. I don't have that much patience, right? Unless they big ass dots. I need big dots or something, right? But for me,
wear magnifying glasses.
Yeah. But like for me, I like to make we're both crafters. So I like to do crafty stuff. I like to sometimes just sit out in nature. I do like to walk, right? Go out and just be, right? But what are the things that make you happy? Sipping paint, hookah, having a good
what she said and didn't say.
Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. So, but find the things that make you happy, because what it can do is it can significantly reduce the stress hormones, your cortisol levels going down, so we don't have the puffiness in our face, the wiggles, the extra bloating. A lot of that is because our cortisol levels are so high because we're stressed, right? Practice mindfulness and meditation. Like Lisa just said, she's doing meditation twice a day.
I love
right? But practice mindfulness. It isn't just a buzzword, y'all. It is a proven method to help combat burnout. It can significantly reduce emotional exhaustion, and it's also going to help improve your focus, because I'm focused on the now, on the present, not on what happened yesterday, not on the past. I'm focused on the present and how I feel. I'm not judging it, right? Start with 5 minutes breathing exercises or body scan meditations. And I'm going to be doing Like I said, the guided meditations and showing people how to do body scans. I did a body scan with Sharonda during her release session, right? And there are apps that can help you do that too, but don't get them. Get mine. Mm-hmm. And finally, find support. Lean into your community because you don't have to heal alone. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be a therapist, it can be the Wake Up Happy Sis Academy, whole community of women that are helping each other, right? These kind of things, having and leaning into that community, people you can go to who aren't going to judge you, right? That can help lift the emotional weight of burnout, right? So, Therapy for Black Girls, it is a great resource where you can find a therapist who understands the unique challenges we face. Cultural relativity is important, right? You could also join the Wake Up Happy Sis Academy. Join the community. It's going to be opening for Black Friday. We're going to let a couple of people in early with some special discounted rates, right? Because you want to get yourself in a supportive environment to help you on your healing journey. You can beat burnout, but we've got to prioritize. You've got to set boundaries. You've got to know what your levels are. I got to know what the boundary is before I hit it. It's like swimming. When they're the swimmers that swim underneath, they have to know what their boundary is so they don't crash their head into the end, especially when they have to do the turns and come back. Mm-hmm. And you're coming at a high speed. They have to know what that boundary is. The goal isn't to hit the boundary, y'all. The goal is to stop before you hit and crash and burn. We don't want you to suffer from burnout anymore. We want you to be able to live happy, healing, fulfilling, freedom. Love what you do. Now, on Thursday, we're going to kind of finish this up. Well, we might. I don't know. I have to decide how I'm feeling about that. But because we didn't get to talking about balancing career, family, and self without losing your joy. And I think that's very important. So I think Thursday, what we might do is the first part of the show. We'll finish this up and then we'll move into our next topic. So you already know, we want to thank you for being here with us today. We talked about a lot of stuff, right? And I want you to remember, burnout, it does not define you. We know it's not easy to get through, but you will, because you're worth it. You don't have to do it all. Yes, you're strong, but strength also comes from knowing when I need rest, when I need to ask for help, and when I need to say no. So, protect your joy like it's sacred, because it is. We in our 50s, we protect our peace at all costs.
Family and friends, be doggone, because I'm going to have my peace. That's I am. Right. Especially if you willingly cross them boundaries and stuff.
Yes, because you're allowed to thrive unapologetically. We don't want you to just survive out here. We want you to thrive in all aspects of your life. So, until Thursday, I want you guys to get out there, be great, learn what your boundaries are, learn what your burnout, what do I call it? Your burnout level is, and stop before you get there. We gave you some tips. We'll give you some more tips. We love you. We appreciate you. And I think we're out. Anything
Have a
else
good
you
one.
want to say?
Just protect your peace. Don't wait till your 50s before you figure out that peace is more important than toxic relationships, family, friends, to be included in that.
Yes, you can always walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we're out. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Wake Up Happy Sis on KCCR The Brownstone. Make sure you show up every Monday at 10 a.m. for a new